Have you guys been watching The Ultimatum season 3? This season is the perfect follow up to Love is Blind because it just feels like there's about to be some drama. There are three black couples, and the women this season are gorgeous, and all of the men are attractive. I mean, look at this cast. So let's go through the couple Chanel and Micah. We actually didn't see them talk very much at the beginning of the season. It's not until they separated into the dates that we kind of got more about them, which we later found out why. For this couple, the girl, Chanel, is the one who actually brought Micah on in order to give him the ultimatum. Micah says that Chanel is his best friend. Chanel has such a sweet personality, and obviously, she's really, really pretty. A lot of the men gravitate towards her, and even the women. Like, the women this season seem to be less catty and very much just like friendly and outgoing and willing to converse with everyone in the group. Chanel ultimately ends up being what I would have expected to be the season favorite, to be honest with you. Just her personality and the way she uplifts all of the guys and kind of helps them through the process. Some of them were not taking it very well. And she was kind of really like a beam of light and just very sweet. She was just very sweet. Like, I was shocked to see that Micah, given, I mean, look, she's very pretty. He's like okay attracted to me. And given that dynamic, I'm like, he doesn't want to marry her? Like, what? Then there's Aria and Scotty. So it seems like Aria, she's independent and she's has problems with men as far as like trusting them. Scotty's the one that brought Aria onto the show for the ultimatum. You could tell at first she was kind of like really upset about him bringing her on. She was a little clear about the fact that her issue is with the fact that she doesn't necessarily feel the most comfortable with him. It's not that she's not ready. She doesn't want to be married. Is that she doesn't know if he's the right person. That's kind of what she was making it seem like during this first batch of episodes. She did ultimately, though, end up crying when she saw that he was getting closer to another contestant. Then there's Mariah and Caleb. So Mariah's very quiet. She's pretty and she's very, very quiet. Like, her energy is kind of like, I don't know, she's like a human Xanax to me. Her energy is just so mellow. Like, she's one of those people that kind of talk monotoned and like light. I get a boring vibe from her, and I wasn't shocked when I saw that her and Caleb were having issues with deciding well, Caleb was having issues with deciding to marry her, honestly, because she just had this very like, it's almost like she was too calm, and I don't want to call it calm. She just comes off kind of boring, to be honest. She comes off boring. She brought him on the show for the ultimatum, and yeah, she just comes off boring. I'm sorry. Ultimately, she seems to be very like stoic when it comes to him dealing with other women. It seems like it bothers her, but her emotions are so buried deep down. I don't know if it's because of the cameras, just her personality type, who knows, but she just seems to bury her emotions. So like, it bothers her, and she'll say something bothers her. She'll say she's upset, but like, her face don't look upset. So yeah. um but she's a very sweet girl regardless. I think she's the youngest one. She's 24. Vanessa and Dave. I actually really liked Dave. He seemed really, really sweet. So Vanessa was the one that brought Dave onto the show for the ultimatum. She said that they started off their relationship and he was the one that was more into her. And then now in their relationship, he seems to have gotten a little bit more complacent. At first, he seemed kind of cool about being on the show and very collected, but that slowly started to just spiral because as he saw Vanessa getting closer to another castmate, he definitely seemed like he's ready to get off the show. Dave is the one that Chanel actually ends up matching with. So Dave really needed Chanel's like emotional support because he really wasn't taking it well seeing Vanessa talk to another castmate who's coming up soon. But um Chanel did a good job of trying to like help him calm down, telling him to just smile. She was very much like an emotional support person for him. So when I saw the matchup, I thought it was kind of cute. Nick and Sandy. This couple seems so toxic to me. Like, I sense that the other couples, so for example, Chanel and Micah, I can tell they're friends. Araya and Scotty are in a long distance relationship, but I can still tell that they kind of are cool. Mariah and Caleb seem like the most like calm couple, and they seem very much like they're friends. And Vanessa and Dave, they don't seem very toxic. They just seem kind of like that couple that's been together for a while now, and they also seem like they're pretty much friends. But Sandy and Nick. Y'all, Sandy and Nick to me seem so toxic. Tell me if I'm wrong. They just seem so toxic to me. Like it seems like Nick is unhinged, and that goes beyond obviously once Sandy is matched with who she's matched with, you can tell Nick is not the most emotionally stable person. I know he's an artist, but he's just giving unhinged. In this dynamic, Nick is the one that brought Sandy, the girl, onto the show and gave her the ultimatum. He expected the show to strengthen their relationship, and he actually is the one that Dave's girl, Vanessa, was ended up being matched with. And he's the one that Vanessa was talking to, where Dave kind of became unhinged and started to like be emotional because he saw that, Vanessa was actually connected with somebody. But this man, Sandy and Nick, Sandy had no problem developing a connection with another person on this show. No problem. She was very attracted to him. And honestly, I did not want her to match with him just because I felt like it was not the best idea for the virtue and for the cleanness of the show. It felt like they were just matching with each other because they want to hook up, honestly. But Dave became unhinged because the way things unfolded on the show, he ended up ultimately kind of not being in the best position. And he had all this time to think about the fact that Sandy was with another man, living with another man, dating another man. And he was pretty much regretting coming onto this show. Initially seeing their dynamic, you can tell that he has these emotional outbursts. She's also passionate and fiery. So, like, they have these blow up arguments, I think. And then he's a type of like gaslighting, toxic person to act like he was just expressing himself, whatever, to try to guilt her into feeling bad or apologizing. And essentially, they start the cycle all over again. Like, it seems like she's the stronger emotional person in the relationship, which is further confirmed later on in this batch of episodes when um you meet Sandy's like family and friends and the things they kind of say passively. But he does come out sweet. Like initially I was confused. I was like, why didn't you want to marry him? And as things unfolded, I was like, okay, I could see how he's just emotionally unstable. Y'all, this couple, JR and Zaina. I don't think this girl understands that. I don't think JR sees it for her. I think JR is the type of person who's kind of just sticking around and who is there because he wants to. JR seems like the type of person that who's there because he honestly just wants his cake and to eat it too. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if we found out that he also cheated on his ex-wife as well. I don't think he feels like Zayn will be able to keep him fulfilled in a marriage. And honestly, I'm not sure that she will be able to either. Only because she seems to just kind of roll over and let him walk all over her. And JR seems like the type of guy who likes some pushback. He likes a woman that's passionate and who's able to kind of like put him in his place a little bit. To go into astrology, he's a Scorpio. And Scorpio men, while they do want to lead a lot of the time, they like some toxicity. They do like to kind of go back and forth with somebody. They want to feel like you're not necessarily going to be easily ran over by them. And it seems like she's very easily manipulated by him. Like, I sense that she's used to him just kind of telling her randomness. For example, oh, I'm having problems deciding to marry you because of my issues in a marriage and all these things I dealt with and all blah blah blah. All that stuff really is not a reason why you don't marry someone. Maybe it's because I'm married and so I'm a little biased, but it is my belief that if you want to be with somebody, then you'll be with them. What happened with your ex relationship or whatever shouldn't affect whether or not you're willing to be with someone, specifically men, especially given how quickly after he was living with Sandy, how he started to kind of change his tune. Granted, it could have been a manipulation tactic to just kind of get Sandy into bed, which again, I'm sure he's trying to do. But I think he's really just stringing Zaina along. One, because she's letting him. Two, because she's easily manipulated by him. And so there's no reason for him to get out of the situation. And three, because they've been at it for a while now and he's kind of just like comfortable and content. Like, I could see him just staying because she's unproblematic. And based on what her friend said and the fact that she's usually happy go lucky with him, yeah, I could see that he's just around because she's unproblematic. Which to an extent I see why he chose Sandy, because Sandy is problematic.